guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special one. We're going to talk about all the eyeshadow palettes that I think is perfect for Halloween season, or I would say fall season too. If you are into jewel tones, grungy tones and all Halloween vibes, I feel like I'm going to talk about my top 5 palettes that I feel is perfect, like perfect for Halloween season. So if you're ready, let's begin. I combined a lot of this into my eye look and one more special eyeshadow. I'll talk about it like somewhere later in a few videos from now. Okay, so let's talk. I feel like I have like top 3 Halloween palettes, and I have 2 palettes that give us like a similar vibe if you cannot afford or if you're not wanting to get these palettes in your collection. So first, let's go over the Halloween palettes. Of course, we have to talk about my Colourpop's Hocus Pocus palette, the Gather Around Sisters palette, and this is the first Hocus Pocus palette that Colourpop did, and I feel like this color story totally is like Halloween vibes, like totally grungy tones with those greens and those reds, the maroons, the purples. I feel like this is total grungy vibe. I don't get a lot of use out of this first half. I feel like this would have been like a perfect 12 pan eyeshadow palette. I feel that way. But I feel this is like great vibes. Let me swatch a few shades from here so that you know like the quality of the eyeshadow palette. I don't know if they are getting this back into the Colourpop's website this time or not. They had bought it back like last time with the release of their second release, and right now they're coming out with the third one. So I don't know if they are going to come back with it or not. But I mean, if they get it back, you know. Like, I feel like this is like great color story for Halloween. So that would be my first palette. Look at the pigmentation. I mean, I am so crazy about these like tones. I feel like the only thing that it is missing is the oranginess. And I feel like that would have been like complete for this palette. If this row was like some tones of orange, oh my God, it would have been perfect. But that would be like on my number 3 on my top 3 list. On number 2, if you were eyeing like a concise color story for Halloween, I feel like it cannot get better than this. And I'm talking about Sugar Drizzle's Trick Raw Treat palette. This is such a small, concise 6-pan eyeshadow palette, but you can do so much with this. I have this like on my lid as well as my inner corners today. And it just gets onto the tones that you're laying down first, and it's beautiful. Like, I've done like 3 looks using this palette, and I can do so much more with this like 6-pan eyeshadow palette. I feel like it's a great amount of like equal amount of shimmer to matte ratio, and the multi-chrome duochrome that is included in it is just perfect. Even the mattes, I would say, it's just like perfect tones of grunginess. I love it. I absolutely love this palette. Let me swatch a few shades. I mean, this is a small palette, but you need to see, like, this is so pretty. It's so good. Oh my God, it's just stunning. Look at that, look at that. It's just so pretty, guys, so pretty. The day I'm filming this palette is just released, like today, October 2nd. So I don't know if you got your hands on it or not. I do have a code with Sugar Drizzle, and it is Smithy Sony, and it will save you 10% off. So if you are getting this, I think this is a great palette to get. Not telling that you need to use my code, use anybody's code, save some money, but I feel like this would be so good, like so good. I really love this palette. On number 1, if you are a person who has thought that I'm only going to buy one Halloween palette for this year, I would say look no further. This is the palette for you. And this is the Spooked palette that Gourmand Girls came out this year in collaboration by Doodles by the Bunny. This, in my opinion, is like the perfect palette for Halloween. I have enjoyed this palette so much. I have a lot of shades from this palette on my eyes today. I have this orange in my crease, and I deepened my outer corners of the lid by this purple shade, and then I further deepened my outer corners by using this shade, and I have this and this on my lower lash line. It is so pretty, so pretty. Like the mattes, the shimmers, everything. It's absolutely wonderful. These shimmers are out of this world gorgeous. You can definitely create more of like a neutral color story also by just sticking to these things. Oh my god, the things that you can do with this palette is absolutely endless. Let me swatch a few shades for you. And this has the perfect Halloween tones, like with the oranges, the purples, the duochromes, the shimmers, the perfect mattes. I mean, yeah, I can go on and on and on this palette. And yeah, you cannot stop me because this is that beautiful. Again, I've done a dedicated video using this palette on my channel, and you can see how pigmented, how beautiful, how buildable these shades are. It's just truly amazing. You would be surprised if you have not tried Gourmand Girls before. I feel like this is creeping up the indie brands list with the quality of the mattes and the shimmers they put out. I feel like Ethereal and this is like my favorite out of the lot that they have, but even the other palette, the Doodles by the Bunny did with them, that Paris palette, C'est L'Amour palette, that was also good, but I love each and every shade that was put in this palette. I mean, I think this palette over the Ethereal palette. And Ethereal palette is all full of like duochromes, multichromes, shimmers, and this has like a good variety of mattes and shimmers. This, it's on the top of my shelf. I absolutely love this palette. This would be like one of the best palette for 2022 for me, for sure. So once we have talked about the top 3 palettes for the Halloween, I want to give you 2 more options that can give you a similar vibe if you do not have those palettes in your collection. And one would be this Melt Cosmetics Amore Mariposa palette. I feel like if you take off this second row completely off, it's a complete Halloween palette. Like complete Halloween palette with those greens, the oranges, the reds, the purples. I feel this can give you such similar vibe for Halloween. Like I love it. Even the second row for that matter, if you take away like these 2 neutral mattes, it's all Halloween. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I've talked about this a lot of times on my channel. I think I've done like 5 looks using this palette. It's such a pretty palette, like such a pretty palette. The mattes are like the star of the show here in this palette, and I love it. I absolutely love each and every one of them. The shimmers, the mattes, the tones are pretty, like so pretty. Let me swatch a few. I don't think you can find this on the Melt website now, but if you do have it in your collection, I would highly recommend you to get it out and use it more, especially for this like fall Halloween season. As soon as October kicks in, I mean, I cannot tell you how excited I am for this season to get into some deep grungy eye looks. Those are like my favorite, like absolute favorite. I love a grungy tone eye, like a smoky eye with a nude lip. That's me. And then if you are in a mood of saying like, Smithy, I have my jewel tone palettes like that, I am very, very happy with it. Just give me some shimmers that are duochromes that are beautiful. I would highly suggest It's Well Cosmetics Break the Rules palette. And this is their initial palette, the first palette that they came out with. This has some pretty tones for Halloween, like the orange to pink shimmer, this green, this like duochrome. Can you see the pan in the palette going on? I have a pan in this. Like you can imagine how much this palette is loved. This red is perfect for Halloween. This one, I would say this is like very similar tones to what we have in the Gourmand Girls Spooked palette also. Very pretty. Oh my god, I have to swatch it, but my fingers are like filthy dirty. Let me swatch a few shades for you guys, just so that you know like how pretty this palette is. I have this purple right in my inner corners. I don't know if you can see that purpley shift happening. It's just like on the, like a cut crease happening, just a tiny little bit, but these tones are just amazing. Look at the shine. Look at the shine. Okay. We need to swatch this when it is that pretty. And they play with a lot of formulas. Like they have some thick, unique, like opaque color story, and some of them are like taupery duochrome. Can you see the shift? Oh my god, my camera cannot take it. Like that's how pretty these are. If you've not tried It's Belle Cosmetics, my goodness, like guys, are you sleeping? I don't know. Their palettes, from their first palette to their last palette, it was absolutely amazing. And even the owner of that brand, I mean, I adore her. Nell is absolutely spectacular. So is Christina from Gourmand Girls. I mean, the palettes that I'm recommending, the brands that I'm recommending in this video, all of them are top-notch quality. Gourmand Girls, Sugar Drizzle Cosmetics, It's Belle Cosmetics. I love each of these brands so very much. I do not have like interactions with Melt Cosmetics and Colourpop, but rest of these indie brands, I am like dead over fan on these brands. I absolutely love them. I cannot recommend them enough. Like anything that you would pick out from these brands, you'll absolutely appreciate. And that's why I wanted to recommend my top 5 Halloween palettes for you guys. If you did like this video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.